you're almost similar in your gameplay, and you're almost similar in your titles, tags, thumbnails, and whatever, then, you know, aren't you just copying them? Like, you're saying, oh, that's successful, let me do that. You're not saying, you know, if you aren't bringing anything new to the table, what good are you? You know, when I make an Easter eggs video or tips and tricks video or jumps and spots, whatever, you know, I do some research. I'm like, okay, these people already found that, so that, you know, if I just do that again, you know, that's not going to get me anywhere. So whenever I do something like that, I'm like, okay, well, I learned from these guys a few of these steps, but I have some that people have never caught on before. So those are the ones that I'm going to talk about, as well as throw in these common knowledge ones. Like Easter eggs for my getaway Easter egg. That was one that I don't think anyone else has found. You know, zombies Easter eggs. You know, those are kind of events that happen in the game that can't really have a lot of difference. However, the hypotheses and stuff like that is different for every person. And whether or not you agree with that is also your own opinion. You know, I'm just kind of from a third-party view here, and I think this Flynn guy really doesn't have a whole lot to do with this, except for the fact that he asked for a like. Max said he would do it multiple times, and gave some kind of crappy excuse why not to. And then I watched the Bad Kids show with Keemstar, Blade, and Max on there, and you know, he says his excuse is that you know, it spams the video feed or whatever. I'm like, I'm thinking myself, why didn't you just tell him this the first time, instead of prodding this guy on, only making more problems for yourself in the long run? You know, why would you lie to someone about that? You know, they know that you're a big YouTuber, they look up to you. You know, the least you could do is be like, oh, I wouldn't do this because of that. And as a big YouTuber, you know, it would kind of make sense. Like when I would talk to some big YouTubers sometimes, you know, I'd be like, hey, why don't you do this for me? And they're like, no, I'm too busy. I got, you know, YouTube stuff to do. Which makes sense if YouTube is your living. However, you know, if you aren't spending time creating your own content, really, and you're just kind of riding the wave here, riding the trend of tips and tricks, then, you know, you don't really have a lot of time dedicated to that. You're having a pretty easy ride, if I say so myself. Like the old days with White Boy Extras giveaways. And we all remember that. Or the fake nukes. So, if you say tips and tricks isn't, like, already done, there are more tips and tricks. What you need to do is, if you want to still copy Tmartn, what you do, you watch his video. Then you put all of his tips and tricks in it, and you come out with some more new ones to add on to the video, so that your video is not a direct copy. You also change your thumbnail, change your title. You don't use all caps a whole lot that are misleading. You don't throw in tags that steal from his audience. You know, that's just wrong. I mean, if you have to look at it here as two businesses, these two businesses sell a product, and that product only works if you know, these views are people watching it. I mean, that's how you're making money. This is the whole issue here. It wouldn't mean anything if nobody made money off of YouTube and none of these partnerships and contracts existed. So, since you're making money off of this, you can't copy people. Isn't that pirating? I mean, isn't that another, you know, kind of problem that we have in today's society? And I'm not saying that you're a thief by any means. What I'm saying is that you need, the solution to this problem is to differentiate yourself more from Tmartn. The solution to this problem is to not constantly ask for likes, favorites, and whatever. The solution to this problem involves you being different. You know, if something like Woody has the adult advice pretty much locked down, you know, you don't need to go in there unless you can provide a better service than him. You know, that's how business thrives, right? Entrepreneurs, you know, they go in somewhere not because we're going to sell the same product and be, less successful, but because they think they can sell a better product, and because they think they can improve upon the inventions of old. So, it's just, you need to, and this goes for anybody, if you're coming out with anything, improve upon your predecessors. Be different, be yourself. That is what gets you far on YouTube. Because everybody is a different person, and everybody likes different people. Like, for instance, I don't like people that try and over publicize their channel to get views, to get YouTube money. I like people that look like they're having a whole lot of fun. It look like I would love to play video games with these people. And if I don't see that from you, I'm not gonna sub, or I'm not gonna like your video. And sure as hell, when I get big, I'm still gonna like videos, because that's me. I like a video because I like it. I don't like a video because it's bad for my feed and it's gonna spam everybody and generate hate. If you lose your identity when you get big, then what good are you? You're not the same person. I don't know how many stories there have been when people have won the lottery, wives left, kids disowned, and they turn out to be like drug addicts in the end or something. If being famous is going to screw up your morals and screw up who you are, then you need to just, abstain from wherever position you are, because that is wrong. You don't need to lose yourself in order to be big. Kind of like, I want to say Brian D from VGHS, but that's probably not a good comparison there. And then the last point I want to make here is, in this podcast,